there, you amazing person. My name is Rob. I am the Manic Gaming Guy, and today we're going to be building a little car mod for BeamNG.drive. We'll be jumping first over to Automation, the car company tycoon game, where I built a super light and super fast car, and then export it to BeamNG with all its beautiful details, and take it for a little spin for you guys. So without further ado, hit that like button, subscribe if you like this sort of thing, because we're going over to Automation to look at some crazy stats on this crazy car. It's manic, like me. And here we are in Automation. This has to be the most craziest, fastest, thrill-seeking car I have built to date. So sit tight for some fun statistics and a good old jolly video of BeamNG. Let's dive into this one. For the interior, we've gone black. Black exterior, black interior, with a little bit of red headsets and whatever. You know, black. This should be black. Why is this silver? It should be black. Everything is detailed very nicely, I think. We've done quite well, making it a comfortable and suitable ride for mucking about in BeamNG when you get a chance to play with it. Because I will put this on the repository. It's too crazy and fun not to. The idea of this car was to make it super light and super fast. So let's have a look and see how we did that. First of all, we start with a car that is shorter than 2 meters wheelbase. It's a 1.92 meter wheelbase, made in 1983. It's a little coupe. You could imagine this sort of thing coming from Japan as a K-car. It's called Bean, apparently, and I can see why. It is super tiny. And there it is in its raw form. As you can tell, let's go through the other stats. It's fully carbon fiber and fully lightweight, whatever we can make that possible, and fully wide and fully fast. So let's have a look. Carbon fiber, chassis type, semi-space frame, chassis materials, aluminium. Engine placement is front longitude, not transverse, which you imagine like an little car. It is a longitude engine. Front suspension is double wishbone, and the rear suspension is push rod. Push rod suspension kind of gives it a little bit of a problem, not gonna lie. Get a little bit of rubbing. Might make sense to make it multi-link, so I can just crank it up a little bit in the suspension. Or maybe I should give it some smaller wheels. I don't think that'd make a difference, to tell you the truth. Anyway, let's crack on. Quality will be 15 and 15 everywhere, hopefully, as long as I didn't forget. What engine did we put in? Well, we put this one in. An inline 6, 3.3 litre engine. Now think, people, the car is a 1.9 meter wheelbase, and we stuck this ginormous thing in it. A 3.3. You wouldn't even get this in your normal sedan, and we stuck it in a car so tiny you could probably fall over it on a drunken night out. It's got dual overhead cam, 4-valve, aluminium silicon head material. So yep, again, super light and super crazy. It's naturally aspirated, and it's still pushing out 727 brake horsepower and 517 newton meters torque, and our throttle response is still perfectly 100. That's the way we like it. We put bullet steel heavy cranking, titanium cam rods, forged slide pistons, and harmonic dampeners, which we've cranked up a little bit to make sure we weren't dipping out on here and we can get the revs that we want. If I crank this down, I will lose revs. I think it was in my crank. No, it's in my cam rods. My cam rods come down, and it causes us some stress everywhere. Lots of stress, but we fixed that. No problems whatsoever. Our compression, camera profile, springs, and lifters, and all that shajam, as in like our VVTL, VVL, it's all set to the graphs like so, and our compression set to this graph, so we get a little bit of yellow like so. Our cam profile is set to make sure this still comes in a nice juicy tone. I could probably up the cam profile, but I'm not going to. I like where it sits. Our stiffness is done like so. If it's too low, we'll lose some horsepower. If it's too high, we'll lose some horsepower. Find your happy medium. Our VVL profile is just cranked up for max craziness. The VVL RAM placement, where I get it to come in, I tend to watch the, well, I balance it basically. If it's too low, you'll see some dots and it's dropping in this end, and if it's too high, you'll see some dots and it's dropping in this end. Quite self-explanatory, really. No turbocharger, can skip past that. Injection is direct injection per cylinder. We have a race intake manifold, and that's just cranked to the max. Probably can come down a little bit, but it's okay. I'm gonna leave it as the max. It's still only on fuel at 100 RON, so this engine will probably push even some more out if we put some ethanol or even methanol or nitrous into it. It would be even more insane. Got tubular race headers on there. Header size set to maximum perfect 100. Exhaust size up a little bit big actually. This probably should be a bit more up here. Unfortunately so. Catalytic converter, high free flow in the catalytic there going on. We have no muffler at all in the middle, and we have a second muffler at the end, a straight through one. And that's going to be about it for the engine. Once that's done with the engine now, we're going to be moving on to the parts that make it look so good and handle so good. So the looking part so good is one of my favourite things to do. Very happy with this huge splitter spoiler thing going on. I know most time killers have them sticking out really front, like heavy. But if you think about it, this thing is probably, I don't know, a good couple foot long. So a lot of downforce going on there. A nice little splitted downforce for detail here. A ginormous wing sat on the back, but as always you only ever space it out as fast as that, because you don't want to catch something as you're driving past. That would be silly. I've blacked out all the lights for nice extra stealth detail, which I'm very happy with. Like I say, the interior is looking very stylish and clean. It does have working dash, some very cool looking rear view mirrors, sorry. Again, blacked out lights. Very happy with the way this car came out. Some nice, simple, lightweight wheels. Looking cool. Again, this is a super small car. This is ickle. Look at the ramps. It looks tiny. Of course, it is tiny. Like, we're going to be racing later on against the hatchback, and the hatchback is small, and this is smaller. Like, it's smaller than a classic Mini, I believe. I believe it's that's tiny. The paint's all black. Plenty of downforce going on. I think 5 bits of downforce on the front, I think it is, and 2 on the back to get our downforce, which is all about this, by the way. Our downforce graph gives us all this by putting 5 in the front and 2 on the back. We're getting 1.7 G force in the 200 meter circle, which is pretty damn good. Sportiness is 99.1, which is pretty damn good, and drivability is still 92.7%, which is pretty damn good if you ask me. Our gearing, we have all-wheel drive advanced manual 6-speed. You think, oh, it's a tiny car, I don't know that. Well, it is a tiny car, but it has got a ginormous engine, so you know you kind of want a 6-speed and lots of grip. We are limiting this car to 250 miles an hour, but we do sort of bottom out. I've only ever done 130-ish miles an hour because the car kind of starts scraping along the floor. Might be something nice for me to fix in the future, because I think being able to do 250 miles an hour would be a lot nicer than scraping along the floor, but it's still a ridiculously good car to drive. First gear, we're getting 57 miles an hour. Very short space in the first second, but I believe that helps you with the slow corners. So say you're dropping into first gear, you can just drop into second and still get some oomph out of your car. Power split is 80% to the rear, and it is a clutch race LSD. Again, quality 15 all round. If you enjoy the music at the background right now, I do make that myself. Feel free to go over to one of my other channels called Head Relaxing, where I post all my little chilled out music, and you can hear it without me talking over the top. Tyres are radial sports compound, and they're 190s front and rear, and they're 15s. Again, that just shows how tiny this car is. They've got 15s on, and they look ginormous somehow. That's because the car is so small. Magnesium wheels. Brakes are ceramic 2, ceramic 1. Bit overkill. It does need more, like less braking on the back end. You'll see me in the video later on when I go to brake, the back end just kind of locks up and sends you flying into a spin which can be pretty good if you know what you're doing, but pretty scary at high speeds if you're not really prepared for it. Under trays, race diffuser active wing, and we do have some corner flaps going on. Graph is set up so to get us this sort of so there's nothing really particular about this numbers. It all goes to the car in hand. It's not a convertible. It has only got 2 seats, and it's race and basic for the most lightness. Quality bumped right up. The steering is, here we go guys, a manual rack and pins, and we've gone old school on this one. There's no power steering. It's quite stiff, the steering. Good workout, that's for sure. But it does give you a little bit more sense of what's going on. Traction aids have been put on. I'm not too sure why I would have done that. I probably should have kept them off. I don't think it made that much difference in the weight. So I think I just left it on there. And then hopefully sell more cars. Yeah, not. Advanced safety to -15. This should be normal safety -15 because I've obviously gone for less weight. I don't know why that is. I don't want to touch it yet. Maybe I do a version 2 where we try and crank this car even more horsepower to weight and all that sort of stuff. But keep in mind, people, we're coming up to that very now soon. Optimized weight is put down. Weight distribution is down to the rear. Here we go. What is the weight distribution of the car? It is 64 in the front, 56 in the rear. But the car weighs 555 kilograms and it has 727.2 brake horsepower. That is more horsepower per kilogram going on. It's like 1 point something, 1.1, 1.07, something like this. Something crazy, but it's more brake horsepower than it is kilogram to the car. It is ridiculous. Like if it had 500 brake horsepower, 500 kilograms, it would be 1,000 brake horsepower per ton. This thing's more than that. It's like 1,200 brake horsepower per ton. I don't know what the mass is. You do put it in the comments, people. You do some quick maths for me. Let me know what brake horsepower per ton this car is. Think about it. It's mental. It's stupidly light, which means it's already agile and fast through corners. So if you're careful with what you're doing with your foot, it's a weapon. It is a weapon. That is for sure. Interior, done that one. Safety aids, done that one. Onto the suspension now, and then we'll be over. Active, semi-active, and passive. It's active springs, semi-active dampers, and sway bar, passive. As you can see, we've got quite a nice oversteer steering, but that's okay because we're all-wheel drive with 20% of the power in the front. The back end is quite controllable. Definitely more darty in the corners than it is understeery, so that is exactly what we want. Our sportiness is 136.2. This is like most sportiness I think I've ever made a car. It is so sporty. Like ridiculously sporty. I've over-sported it on this. Apparently it could be even sportier, but I had to sort of do this because the downforce was too much, and I like the downforce, so it was compromise. Lots of compromising to get you a perfectly beautiful car. No, detail stacks. We don't care about drivability. Sportiness. Here we go. It didn't like the circuit test. Obviously, I've changed some settings every time I come on this. I will get this off. I did have that as 0.1, so I need to improve that again. And pad type could be improved, but it was really hard. It's either you get brake fade or bad brake type, so I don't know. There's a tricky one to work out, but there we go. There's my settings for sportiness. 136. Pretty damn impressive if you ask me. We're gonna push play now, and I forgot to look at the performance. 2.4 seconds to 0 to 62 miles per hour. If you keep going, it's 1.3 seconds. It will do a quarter mile in under 10 seconds. 9.6 seconds. It'll do the whole kilometer in 15 seconds. It's fast. It is. Hey, normally it gives me my time. Normally I can do that. Obviously that's a new bug to the game. There we go. It'll do the automation test track in 1 minute, 44 seconds. It's pretty happy days. But there we have it. There is the automation part of the video over. I hope you like what you're seeing. This car is bonkers on paper, so it should be bonkers on the road. Well, I've got something a little bit special set up for you now in BeamNG. This is going to be an 8-car overtake on the bypass once round. It's not a very long video, but it's got lots of cuts and cool scenes and things for you to enjoy. So let's jump over to BeamNG, where if you want some more details, I'll throw it in at the end. Okay, so let's jump over to BeamNG, enjoy the video. Stay at the end for more statistics and stats and fun reviews and what I did in the video. See you at the end. So there we have it. The BeamNG part of the video is over. You enjoyed the automation part and then you enjoyed the BeamNG part. So what did you think of my little short clip video? Did you work out what happened? I got 8 cars that were exactly the same car, got them all on the same AI script path, and then tried overtaking all of 8 of them before the bridge. I succeeded in doing that. May have been a little bit chaotic at the end when I hit the curb and kind of flipped the car, but that's okay. We enjoyed the video up to that point. If you wish to know how to do that, maybe I could give you guys a little tutorial in the world editor on how to set up a little, I don't know what you'd call them. I know there's a few games back in the day, if you can maybe throw them in the comments, that you used to do those sort of things. You try and, I think Gran Turismo used to do actually, you try and overtake as many cars as possible while going around in 1 lap or 10 laps or whatever. That's what we did. We set one of those up and we gave it a go and we achieved it. Hey, the car itself is bonkers. Great fun to drive, super good acceleration, really grippy and mental in the corners. It kind of tucks in when you want it to do and understeers when you want it to. does all that sort of stuff. Only downside is when you brake in, sometimes the back end will try and overtake the car as it's locking up more than front end. That could probably be compromised with some better braking and foot control, or, you know, maybe just reducing the power on the back brakes, but then that was a whole palaver itself in automation. But anyway, I will be trying to stick this over in automation, BeamNG.drive, the repository thingamabob on the internet as soon as possible, to keep an eye out there. Until then, I have already got loads of cars over there, so feel free to download them and give them a go. My cars are only ever getting better and better and better. So please like and subscribe to keep up to date with them, and I'll see you in the future. Thanks very much. Keep it real, stay safe, and share the love. Bye.